Alright guys, let's do this. This is Gossip Girl from Take My Money Now, and this is the second update for Project Pan 2017. Alrighty, so it's been officially about 10 weeks since starting my Project Pan, and I have some progress to share with you guys. I love blabbing in these intros, please bear with me. So like I mentioned in my last update, which I'm going to link down below, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, otherwise the video would be too long. I'm only going to be talking about products that I'm actually making some good progress on. So I tried to be a little more organized this time around. These are all the products that I'm going to be mostly talking about because I've made some good progress on them or mentionable progress on them. Whereas these, I think I'm going to skip over some of them. Also, at the end of this video, I will be sharing with you guys my August empties because I am on a goal for emptying out 50 full-size or deluxe size products by the end of the year. So I'm going to talk about some of those, and yeah, that's about it. Let's just jump right into the video. Alright, so let's start with some primer. I'm currently working on only one of these in my project pan. This is the Pore Minimizing Primer by Sephora, and I absolutely love this primer. It's amazing. It has that classic silicone kind of a texture, which basically makes all of your pores disappear. It just makes your skin look extremely smooth and nice. I've actually made quite some progress on this product. This is where I started at. This is where I was at last month. And this is where I am right now. I think I've only got about 2 months worth of product here, and then I'll be done with this. Next, let's talk about some foundations. So I basically have two foundations in my project pan. One is my Revlon Color Stay. The other one is my RMK Liquid Foundation. I'm not going to say much about the Revlon Color Stay because I have practically zero progress on this. I didn't even touch this foundation. Generally, throughout the entire month of August, I wore very little makeup, so I don't have as much progress on any of these products as I wanted to. I didn't even touch this foundation. This, however, is the only foundation that I've been wearing, and I've finally finished this. Last month, I said I had maybe 10 to 12 more days in it, and that's exactly how much use I got from this foundation. I can still maybe scrape a couple of days worth of product from this jar, and maybe I would because I absolutely love this foundation. I will consider repurchasing this, not right away. I've used this constantly for the last 2 months, so I don't really want to yet, but it's such a beautiful foundation and I loved using it. I wasn't bored of it. So I mean, I will definitely consider buying this, just not right away. Alright, and then for color correcting, this is one product that I have some great progress on. If I were to ever do a used and abused makeup products kind of a tag, this would probably be my only product there. This is the product that I use every single day. My goal for this month was actually to use up this orange corrector right here. I'm going to insert a picture of where I was at last month. I've completely used this orange one up. For next month, I'm going to try and hit pan on this purple one and make some more progress on these other ones. I do have a backup of this palette, but I'm going to try and finish most of these colors up before I go out and open that one up. Another product that I actually have some great progress on is on my NYX HD Finishing Powder. I hit pan on this. During my last update, I said that I felt like I was getting closer and I would hit pan any day now. And I did actually hit pan about a week later. Since then, I've actually expanded the pan quite a bit, but not as much as I would have hoped, and that's because now I'm trying to pick up product from the corners. I've heard that once you get close to the corners, the product starts crumbling off because the product on the corners is thick and it doesn't have much to adhere to. So what I'm trying to do is now pick up product from these sides so I can balance things out a little bit and not lose any of this product. I would 100% repurchase this right after I finish this up. This is one of the best powders in the world, hands down. And while we are on the subject of face powders, let's talk about another face powder that I'm actually using. This is a loose powder. This is the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder, one of the best setting powders that was ever made. I've also made some huge progress on this product as well. These are all the markers of my progress. This is where I was at when I started using this product. This is where I was at last month, and this is where I am right now. I have little product left here. I'm trying to use this up because this is a travel size, and I have a full size brand new in my collection as a backup, which I want to get to before it gets too old. So that is why I'm trying to finish this up, and I think I will be able to do that within the next 2 updates. So this is the powder that I was using for the majority of the month. I did actually try to use my e.l.f. high definition loose setting powder as well a couple of times during the month, but I don't have much of a progress on this product. Next, let's talk about the 2 mascaras that I have in my project pan. I have used both of them up. I really liked both of these mascaras. They were really good, but nothing out of this world. I have mascaras in my collection that I prefer. This one, I don't think I'm even going to consider repurchasing. It was alright. It was part of a Sephora favorites kit, and I'm glad I'm done with this. Whereas this one is actually really nice, but if I were to ever get a Benefit mascara again, I think I'm gonna go with the Real mascara. I definitely prefer that over this one, but I might consider repurchasing this. I mean, I do really like it. Next, let's talk about concealer that is currently in my project pan. This is the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, and I have no clue how much progress I've made on this guy. This is the only concealer that I've been wearing throughout the month of August, so I'm thinking there is some progress here, but I can't really tell with the packaging. So yeah, I don't think that's helpful, but you know, I gotta mention. So let's quickly talk about the 2 blushes that are in my project pan. I didn't even mention them in my last update because I didn't have any particular progress to show you guys in that update. I still don't have that much progress because one of the things that I've learned from this project panning experience as a first timer is that these cheek products like bronzers and blushes take forever to even show some progress. So the first blush that I've got here is by a Chinese brand called Jilin. The blush is in the shade M225, and this is what the blush looks like. It is a beautiful cool tone pink, and believe it or not, this is one of the newest blushes that I have in my collection. I got this maybe 4 or 5 days prior to filming my project pan intro, and I fell in love with this blush and I wanted to really use it every single day, which is why I included this in my project pan in the first place. It's very light and you can build it up, so I just really go at it with my brush and I go heavy-handed, and it still looks really natural. I sort of feel like I see the rim of the pan underneath this blush at this point, and I think I might be able to hit pan on this the next month, which is incredible since I've only got this blush for about 2 months. Same is the case with the e.l.f. blush and bronzer duo in the shade Turks and Caicos. This is what the blush looks like, and it's absolutely stunning. I love both of these blushes. This too is really not that pigmented, and you can definitely build it up, which is the kind of blush that I really like and prefer. And for this too, I feel like I can see the rims and the edges of the pan underneath, but I have no clue how much longer it would take me to actually hit pan on this because I've never hit pan on a blush before. So I mean, that's the progress I can show you guys anyways. Next, let's talk about the progress on the e.l.f. Illuminating Palette, which I'm really excited about. During my last update, I said that I felt like I was getting really close to hitting pan on this shade right here, which I did the very next day, even before I had a chance to take the product shots, which is why in that video you could already see it hitting pan in the product shots. Since then, I've actually really expanded this pan a little bit. I have to say this is my absolute favorite shade from the entire palette. It looks the best against my skin tone. I also really like this one, which I've been trying to use this month. But I still gravitate towards this one way more. So for next month, I hope that I have a bigger pan on this shade and that I can start to see some dip in this shade. So those basically would be my monthly goals for this palette from here on. Now, as for this bronzer, I'm not even going to go there because I really don't have that much progress on it. I will insert a picture of this against how it looked like last month, and that's not really any different. So I think let's talk about these potted products. The first one being the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Now, even though I was not wearing that much makeup throughout the month, towards the end of the month, I actually used a lot of this primer. And that's because I was testing out the Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I was also doing a lot of different eye looks for my Instagram as well as for YouTube. I also filmed a swatch video for a palette which will be coming soon, and I primed my entire arm with this to give my eyeshadows the same kind of base that they get on the eyes. So I mean, I did actually use this primer quite a lot this month, and I definitely see there is some progress here. However, I feel like this is drying out a little on me, so I plan to add 1 drop of Duraline in it after filming this video. I'm going to mix it up and then I'm going to scrape everything and push it to one side. That way it would be creamier to use and the progress would be a lot easier to track as well. As long as we're talking about mixing up products, let's also talk about the Anastasia Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown. I included this in my project pan, but to be honest, I didn't even touch this for the entire first month that I was working on the project pan, and I don't think I've ever shown you guys how this looked like, but over the last 1 month, I've actually religiously used this every single time that I've done my brows. I feel like this makes the biggest difference in how my brows look on camera. I have generally really thin brows, and especially on the outer corners on the tail of my brow, I practically have no hair, and I always have to draw that arch and I have to draw the outer tail and all of that with a brow pencil or a brow product. And when I do that with a pencil, it looks good in the mirror and it looks good and natural in person, but on the high definition camera you can always see the tail of my brow looking really odd and not meshing in well with the rest of my brows, which is why I really love this brow pomade. I was not using it at all last month because it was really dry, but then I mixed it in with 1 drop of Duraline and it's again very creamy, very waxy, and I love using it now. Alright, so these are the remaining products that are in my project pan, and I'm not really going to talk about every single one of them because I don't have that much to say about them and I don't have that much progress to show you guys. So let's talk about the last 3 products and then we'll jump right into the empties. So as for the Colourpop lip liner in the shade Button, I actually really thought I would be done with this time around. I think I was overestimating my power of using up makeup products, but again, as I've mentioned a million times already, I wasn't wearing all that much makeup this month, but even if I was, I don't think I would have been able to finish this up. I definitely have some progress on this, but I didn't finish it. Same is the case with the Maybelline Kohl Eye Pencil. I again estimated that I would be able to finish this up by this update, but no, that did not happen. Again, I did make some progress on it. I did sharpen it a few times. I will insert a picture of this compared to how much I had last month, and you guys would be able to see that there is some progress here, but of course I didn't use this up. And of course, let's take a look at the Urban Decay Naked Eyeshadow Palette, which I'm trying to use up a little bit more during this year, and again, not so much progress here as well. Last time I wasn't all that sure about the progress, but this time I definitely see that I have made some dip in the shade Sidecar, which is my favorite shade to put all over the lid. I also have a dip in the shade Naked, but these two are like the only shades that I feel like I've made any progress on. Anyways, so I have one more product to talk about before we move on to the empties, and that is my perfume. So this is where we started at, this is where we were last month, and this is where we are now. Compared to the progress that I made on it last month, I don't have that much progress here, but I am definitely making some progress on this, slowly but surely, and I'm certain I will be able to finish this up by the end of the year. So yeah guys, those were all the things that I made any progress on this month, and considering I wasn't wearing makeup all that much during this month, I still think that is pretty impressive, if I may say so myself. To wrap things up, I hit pan on the NYX HD powder. I hit pan on one of the highlighters in this palette, and I expanded that pan quite a bit. I also used up quite a lot of the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder. I've also made great progress on the Carmella Concealer Palette. I've completely used up the orange shade right here. I've also entirely used up a foundation that was in my project pan. I've made some great progress on this primer as well. I've used up both of the mascaras that were in my project pan. So considering all of that, I think that's not bad at all. So now let's jump into some empties. Alright, so here's my bucket of empties. Let's first and foremost get these out of the way. These are the 2 mascaras that I used up this month. And now I can just count them towards my Empties. Next, I also used up 2 of these makeup removing cloths. These are just my holy grail makeup remover wipes. I use them to remove makeup off of my face, to remove any eye makeup left in my eyes after I cleanse my face. I use them to remove swatches off the back of my hands, and I even use them to remove makeup off of my makeup drawers and my vanity. So I go through these really fast, and it's good that they're not that expensive. I really like them. I also went through another conditioner. I had one conditioner during my last month's empties as well, and I said that I wanted to repurchase that, but I had other conditioners that I wanted to go through. This was one of them. Next, I also went through a body gel. This came in a perfume set by Elizabeth Arden, and I really like the scent of it. Especially for the summer, the scent is amazing. I don't know whether or not they sell these individually or if they only come in sets. So I haven't considered repurchasing this, but I really liked it while I had it. I've also used up this fresh soy face cleanser that I raved about in my recent makeup haul that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. I really like this cleanser. It's really moisturizing, does not strip your skin of the essential moistures. I really did enjoy this, but this is just way too expensive for a cleanser. So even though I really like it, I don't think I'm gonna spend that much money on a face cleanser that I go through like every 6 weeks. I'm not gonna purchase this, but I really liked it while I had it. The next empty is kind of weird. It's a body deodorant, and it's kind of still related, beauty related, is it? I don't know, but anyways, I'm including it. So I went through one of these roll-on deodorants, and for a very long period of time I actually kept using spray deodorants, and I eventually felt like they didn't work as well. So then I tried these roll-ons, and I think that they work way better than the spray-ons, and I definitely prefer them. It's not that expensive, and I definitely think it works. Wow, that was a long time to talk about a body deodorant, but let's move forward. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Priming Water. I got this around 2 years ago, and I never really fell in love with it. I was actually privately trying to pan it since I started my project pan. So when I started my project pan, this is where I was at. Then last month, this is where I was at, and this month I finished this up. This actually grew a lot on me over this last month. I actually started liking it and enjoying it just before I ran out of it. But still, I don't think I'm gonna repurchase this because it's nothing special for me. Alright, and then the last empty that I'm going to count towards my goal of 50 empties by 2018 is going to be the Glam Glow Mud Mask. This was a deluxe sample that I got in one of the Sephora favorite kits. It lasted me for about 6 to 7 uses, and I only used it on my nose and on my chin area where I have whiteheads. If you were to use this all over your face, I don't think this is going to last you more than 3 uses. So I really liked it, but I have a wonderful dupe for it in my collection that's like 1/4 the price, so I don't need to buy this in full size. Now these are all the products that I'm going to count as extras. If that makes any sense. These are just bonus empties that I'm counting just for fun. So first of all, I used up 2 of these cotton pad kind of thingies. You don't really get a lot here. I think you only get, yeah, you get 50 pieces in each of these, and I use like 7 or 8 of these cotton pads every single day. So I go through one of these like every 4 or 5 days. So there's no way I'm gonna count that as a full size empty. I'm just gonna count that as a bonus empty. Alright, and then everything else in this bag are like mini samples, the first of which is this NARS Laguna bronzer. I was really excited to try this out since this is such a hyped up product by NARS, but I'm not like super drawn to it or drawn to it to the extent that I would like be interested to buy the full size. So it was a good product to have while I had it, but not interested in buying the full size. Next I got the Becca Matte and Poreless Primer, and this primer was actually an interesting experience. The first time that I put it on, I felt like my nose had kind of a moment where this primer like sucked every single bit of moisture from my nose, and it kind of felt suffocating for a while. And it did help with the mattifying to an extent, but 1, it balled up on me, and 2, I'm not a fan of that feeling of my nose getting its life sucked out of it. So no, I'm gonna pass on that. And then the last 2 products are basically the same thing. These are the Elizabeth & James Nirvana White perfume samples. These are 1.5 ml each. I think I have two more of these in my collection because when I first sniffed this perfume, I fell in love and I bought so many samples because I couldn't buy the full size here in China. So yes, those are two more of my bonus empties. So yes, that concludes this video. Those are all the products that I've actually emptied out this month. I will have the total empties listed on the screen somewhere of products that I've used so far, and I was thinking at the end of the year I would like to see how much money worth of products I've used up. That would be kind of fun and satisfying to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.